Up top is number 1, Emily Woods. Number 4, Erica Wharton is one of the backs. Number 6, Jillian Vogel is in the midfield. Number 7, Abby Wentlet is a back as well. Number 8, Shelby Underwood is a forward. Number 10, Bree Musselman. Number 11, Gabby Stein is up top, the leading scorer for the Red Dragons. She's got 7 goals. Number 14, Meg Redmond, the freshman from Accord, is one of the backs as well for this Red Dragons defense. Number 20, Brenna Kucher. And number 21, Sarah O'Brien. The Red Dragons are coached by Cynthia Wetmore, who's in her 17th year. And Tricia, one thing that you notice when you look at both coaches, they're both veterans, been at their respective schools 13 years or more. Wetmore's been here for 17. Beth Godding from American International, she's been at Montclair State for 13 now. And how important is it for them to come into a veteran coaching staff?
I mean, like you said, we're equally matched here today. You just got to bring the heat early, come on strong, get a solid lead. I think that's really important. I think we're going to have a really good game today. Cortland's on a 4-game winning streak, and we'll just have to see if they can keep that streak alive today.
Yeah, interestingly enough, since losing to Skidmore, Cortland has managed to outscore their opponents 20-3. And the only 2 teams that managed to put in a goal against the Red Dragons were St. John Fisher and Ithaca. The Ithaca contest we were able to watch ourselves. Cortland struggled early on, couldn't quite find the offense. Then when it came down to crunch time, the Red Dragons finally managed to put 3 in order to take what's always certainly always nice for the Red Dragons to take one from the Bombers.
Absolutely, and we have a sea of red out here today. It's going to be a good game.
Yeah, and Cortland wearing the new uniforms this year are interesting. I like them a lot. I tried talking to Abby Wentlet about what, as she calls them, the kilt designs are, because it almost looks like the red bandana look that Boston College went with this last weekend when they played USC, managed to pull off the upset there. Of course, Boston College was honoring 9/11 hero Wells Crowther, who passed away in the September 11th attacks. But definitely an interesting design. We'll see if these red bandana looks can lead to a Cortland upset here of Montclair State.
Yep, we'll see if they bring good luck.
As the captains meet at midfield with the officials for today's games, they will announce the starting lineups and the national anthem here in a sec. We'll be right back after that here on the Red Dragon Sports Network.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the stadium complex on the campus of Suny Cortland. Today, Red Dragons host Red Hawks of Montclair State in a young conference matchup. Let's meet the starting lineup. First, we're visiting Montclair State. At forward, a freshman from Fairfield, New Jersey, number 5, Caitlin Strauss. At forward, a sophomore from Holmdel, New Jersey, number 6, John Moglino. At back, a senior from New Hampton, New Hampshire, number 7, Abby Erler. At midfield, a junior from Allendale, New Jersey, number 9, Megan Weiss. At forward, a junior from Montville, New Jersey, number 14, Maura Johnston. At midfield, a senior from Lumberton, New Jersey, number 16, Katie Lipstick. At back, a senior from South Plainfield, New Jersey, number 18, Joelle Patrico. At forward, a sophomore from South Plainfield, New Jersey, number 21, Danielle Patrico. At midfield, a sophomore from Robbinsville, New Jersey, number 26, Megan Roloff. At back, a junior from West Hampton, New Jersey, number 30, Sharice Myers. And in goal for the Redhawks, a junior from Clark, New Jersey, number 28, Rebecca Bertol. The head coach of Montclair State in her 13th season is Beth Cotton. The assistant coaches are Eileen O'Reilly, Jacqueline Porter, and Hannah Weissman. And now let's meet the starting lineup for your Cortland Red. From Buffalo Valley, number 4, Erica Warren. At midfield, a junior from Cazenovia, number 6, Jillian Vogel. At back, a senior from Green, number 7, Abigail Whitwright. At midfield, a sophomore from Marathon, number 8, Shelby Underwood. At back, a senior from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, number 10, Bree Muckleman. At forward, a sophomore from Enwell, number 11, Gabby Stein. At back, a freshman from McCord, number 14, Meg Raymond. At forward, a junior from Red Hook, number 20, Brenna Kuchner. At midfield, a junior from Amherst, number 21, Sarah O'Brien. And over Dragons, the senior from Bedford, Pennsylvania, number 00, Amanda Paracone. The head coach is Portland in her 17th season is Sydney Webboard. The assistant coaches are Jessica Reese, Aaron Smith, Emily Boschel, and Becky Gillette. The officials for today's contest are Jeff Carter and Randy Lake. Ladies and gentlemen, in honor of our flag and our country, and in recognition of those who serve our protective, we ask that everyone please stand and move on as we play our national anthem. Representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the same competition. Also, special products on our agricultural production and all that is
So just to recap last year, for both teams, Montclair State ended up going into the NCAA tournament as the #1 overall seed, but lost to the eventual national champion, the Baldwin Polar Bears, in the Elite Eight. Meanwhile, Cortland was on the doorstep of getting into the tournament, but fell in the SUNY tournament finals here on Whitefield to New Paltz in what was a really weird ending. Ended up going to a shootout, and originally they awarded New Paltz the championship. Then they said, well, hang on, Cortland needs to shoot again, but based on the shootout rules at the time, Cortland had already been eliminated. There was no need for them to shoot again. And so then they came back out and said New Paltz won again. So New Paltz ended up celebrating twice before they were named SUNY champs and had clinched their spot in the NCAA tournament. And as we mentioned, Skidmore, who the Red Dragons played in their first game of the season, they ended up going all the way to the Final Four as well before losing in the national semifinals to eventual runner-up Salisbury. So Montclair State's in the white. They'll attack from left to right to start the first half. Cortland will go from right to left. And playing it for the Red Dragons on the faceoff will be Brenna Kuchar.
Yeah, I think what's going to be the most important is Montclair State. They are ranked 8th. Like, that's amazing, but they just can't be too confident. Like, they can't underestimate their opponent. They still have to come on strong, and Cortland has to come on strong. This is a really good matchup, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens in this game.
Cortland quickly moved it to their defensive line, and now Montclair State gains possession, and they decide to do the same. Working it over to Joel Butrico. And then along the sideline, this one will go out of play, but it hit off a Red Dragon. So it'll stay with the Red Hawks. Playing it forward was Butrico, and then it deflected. Oh, it looked like it hit off the stick of Gabrielle Stein. But the Red Dragons are awarded possession, and it's loose here around midfield. Nice interception there by Sarah O'Brien. And then she had it taken away from her by the other 21, Danielle Butrico. And then an errant pass off the stick of Brenna Kuchar will go out of play, and Montclair State will take over once again right around midfield. So neither team really able to get any solid possessions here in the early going. On the far side, the Red Hawks run into some traffic there, and a whistle, I believe, for third person there. We'll keep it with Montclair State. Here's a shot that came from way out and deflects out of play. So the Red Hawks finally are able to get deep into Red Dragon territory here and are the first to threaten. And then another whistle, this one against Cortland again. Setting up to take the shot is Megan Weiss. She drops it back for Joelle Butrico, who ran into traffic, had it poked away by Abby Wetlet. And then Wetlet distributes it once again for Sarah O'Brien. Now here's Stein. Playing it forward for Kuchar, and she had it poked away by the stick of Charisse Myers. Out of bounds once again, hustling up to play it is O'Brien, carrying it towards the crease. Into the middle, and unable to find it for an attempt on goal was Shelby Underwood as it goes out of play, but Cortland will maintain possession. Working it around the shooting circle, and this one will go out of play. And Montclair State will have it. So neither goalie has been tested yet, as Rebecca Bertol, we mentioned, is in the net for Montclair State, and then for Cortland, it's Amanda Perricone. And taking away around midfield is Brenna Kuchar. Then able to take it away, Katie Lipsett for the Redhawks. And they'll move it around their defensive line to try and spread it out.
Yeah, they're moving the ball very nicely, Montclair State. Keeping possession mostly.
Then able to take it away and carry with speed. Here's Megan Weiss cutting towards the middle of the field. And before Emily Woods is able to poke it away, and she's able to connect with Gabby Stein, who then tried to play it forward, but it was picked off by Joelle Patrico. Patrico hits the turf, and the Red Dragons were able to gain possession before Charisse Myers plays it all the way across the field, and the Redhawks try again. And then unable to save it on the far side for Montclair State. It'll turn it over to the Red Dragons. And that one hit off the body of a Red Dragon defender, so nerve certainly playing a role here in the early going as far as the passing game's concerned, as Abby Wentlet and Gabby Stein battle and manage to gain possession, but that pass is taken away by Abby Erler. Played towards the near side for Danielle Patrico, heading towards the shooting circle. Gets Wentlet to miss, now into the center of the circle and still loose, but able to be played out of danger.
Yeah, I think Cortland really needs to just settle down. I think they're a bit too nervous right now. Montclair State has the control over them.
Erica Wharton was the one who played it out of bounds. And a good job there of stepping in by Bree Musselman to get it away. Gabby Stein playing it forward, looking for her teammate Jillian Vogel, but Charisse Myers there again. Now Danielle Butrico trying to get away from Wentlet, and she played it right off her, so Montclair State's going to have another set play here. It's Megan Weiss playing it, the junior from Allendale, New Jersey. She plays it all the way back to Abby Erler. Now into the circle, heading towards the end line. And the Red Dragons are able to come up with it, playing it forward all the way out towards midfield is Erica Wharton. Charisse Myers heads all the way over to track it down and then distributes to Erler. Wentlet in the middle of the field for the Red Dragons. Able to get it to Wharton, and Wharton fed it into traffic once again. And a whistle will give it to the Red Dragons.
Yeah, Cortland's not even passing like to one another. They're not passing with a purpose. They're just trying to get rid of the ball as fast as they can, and it's going right to Montclair State, if going to anyone at all.
Charisse Myers ran into traffic. A whistle will keep the ball with Montclair State. Abby Wentlet, the senior from Greene, New York. She's a transfer from Hartwick. She's played the last few years here for Cortland, so she likes it much better than at Hartwick. And she was advertising on Facebook this contest, trying to get as many people to go. And one responder said it'd be nice to know about the game more than just a few hours ahead of time. But she's very excited to play Montclair State, and of course everybody on this Red Dragons team is hoping that they can come up with the upset here. On the far side, it's played back to Wentlet. She tries to play it into the middle, and battling for it for the Red Dragons was Kuchar. And whistles, going to keep it with the Red Dragons. Carrying forward is Emily Woods. Charisse Myers heading towards the sideline, and it goes out of play. The Red Dragons will play it back in. It's Shelby Underwood. Underwood to Vogel. Vogel towards the middle of the field. Top of the arc, tried to feed it through. And now it's taken away. Back into the middle again. It was played by O'Brien, but no Red Dragon was there for a shot on net. Wentlet, good hustle towards the near side. Plays it forward along the sideline, looking for her teammate Stein, but Myers is the first one to it. And then a good reach there by Kuchar, but it deflects off her stick and out of play. Pass ahead to Megan Weiss. Weiss trying to forward it ahead. But Wentlet's there. And the Red Dragons carry forward again, currently on the stick of O'Brien. O'Brien almost found the stick of Shelby Underwood, but it just got by her through the legs of Myers. And the whistle, once again, will give it to Montclair State, and poor handling of the pass there by Maura Johnson allows it to go out of play. And the Red Dragons slowly working their way back down the field, looking for another attempt against Bertol. And this attempt wide of the cage and unable to be deflected on net. So Montclair State will get possession as it's played forward to Maura Johnson. Taken away, and the Red Dragons going for goal with Stein. She's got it inside the arc, working it towards the middle, but couldn't feed it through, and it's taken away by Butrico. Butrico sends it all the way downfield, where Wentlet was trying to play it, but it hit off her body, so Red Hawks are going to get a free play, and now a foul against Wentlet as Caitlin Struss was trying to move through. This one on net had to be kicked away by Perricone and played out to safety by Bree Musselman. Joelle Butrico over to Abby Erler, and then Wentlet with the interception. Coming back in inside the arc. Battling hard with it was Musselman, but Butrico's got it. And this one just wide of the cage as Perricone thought about kicking it away, but lets it go. And possession back to the Red Dragons. Wentlet across for Redmond. Battle for it towards the end line. It's going to stay with Montclair State. Underwood tried to move it forward, and now this one will carry over the end line, so the Red Dragons will have it once again. After having a few opportunities in the Montclair State defensive third, the Red Dragons have now allowed Montclair State some dangerous opportunities. Playing it back in, this one heads towards the middle of the field, and good hustle there by Gabby Stein to run it down, and they say it hit off her leg, so Montclair State will get it once again, and then this one, of course, hit off of Shelby Underwood. So Montclair State will get another free play. And set to play is Abby Erler, the senior from New Hampton, New Hampshire. Heading towards the arc, battling for it was Meg Redmond. She was doing so with Katie Lipset.
I think Cortland's playing really well defensively. They just have to clean up their act a little offensively, make cleaner passes with one another. and I think they'll get a good scoring opportunity.
Certainly the offense has not had many opportunities of late. Montclair State has really dominated possession here in the last 5 minutes or so. Crossfield pass, they find Megan Weiss.
They're
Trying to work into the arc again. Perricone able to get there and step in to kick it away from Maura Johnston. Back into the arc again, and this one will go wide as Perricone saw no threat of a Red Hawk able to play that one.
Montclair State's really using one another effectively. They're finding the open player and they're passing to them. They're really collectively playing well as a team.
Red Dragons able to gain possession out towards midfield, but the pass looking for, I believe that's Anna Branch, was just a bit too far, so the Red Hawks, able to move forward, but then this one goes out of play. Red Dragons will gain possession, and once again, it comes right to Charisse Myers, who fans on that one and manages to keep it away from Branch as it's played forward. Towards midfield, Branch playing it along the sideline. It caroms out of bounds. Red Dragons slowly moving forward, looking to develop something offensively here. There's Erica Wharton to Jillian Vogel. Vogel got it inside the arc, but had it taken away, heading towards the near side and out of play. And I think Abby Erler just didn't realize where the line was. Now here's Sarah O'Brien trying to get inside the arc, but she's turned away. And this one hits off the foot of Caitlin Struss. Here's Vogel trying to center it, but Myers clears it away. Now this one hits off the foot of Wharton. Right back to Struss into the middle of the field, and it's taken away by Sarah O'Brien before it goes out of play. Oh, Butrico sends one in the air that will travel all the way to Wentlet, who plays it back towards midfield. Cortland keeps it going here. Stein looking for a charging Alexis Sanzone, but then able to find her. Now Stein collects it again, heading towards the middle of the field, sends one wide of the net, and unable to run it down was Shelby Underwood. So good movement there by the Red Dragons, but it seems like they just don't have the numbers offensively in order to find the passing lanes and put something really, really dangerous against Rebecca Batol.
Yeah, I agree. They have to find one another, use one another, find the open player, and I think they'll get it.
Here's a whistle, and Cortland will get a free shot here outside the arc. No corner penalties so far for either team, and working with it right now is Emily Woods. And then a whistle against her, so easy come, easy go. And the Red Hawks will carry the other way. And the referee telling
Montclair State number 4, Ariel Delgado.
Telling Montclair State to back it up. Played towards the near side for Megan Weiss. Weiss tried to find Butrico, but this one will carry out of play. And Abby Wentlet will play it for the Red Dragons. And she smacks one right off of Butrico. She'll get it right back. Plays one in the air and out of play, and you could see the look on Abby Wentlet's face. She very disappointed in that one there. She certainly didn't get what she was trying to do. Red Dragons trying to clear it out of the zone. Here's Joel Butrico towards the middle of the field. Another whistle. It's going to keep it with Montclair State. Butrico carrying it into the middle of the arc, and then a whistle against the Redhawks. Wentlet trying to play it out to one of her forwards. It's loose inside the arc. Maura Johnson had it for a little while, and here we'll get our first penalty corner. It's for Montclair State. Maura Johnson set to play it in.
And this is a really good scoring opportunity for them. This is key.
It's played to Lipsett. Lipsett almost had it taken away. A whistle's going to keep it with Montclair State. But the Red Dragons able to fend off the penalty corner opportunity. Inside the arc, they get it to Johnston. And then a whistle against Montclair State turns it over. So Cortland avoids two threats here from the Redhawks to keep the score at 0s apiece.
Yeah, they're probably breathing a sigh of relief to get out of that sticky situation.
There was a great chance to counter, but coming up with it is Megan O'Brien. Or sorry, that's Joel Butrico of Montclair State. Now with it is Alexa Sanzone for the Red Dragons. She gives it to an oncoming Erica Wharton. And this one had to be kicked away by Bertol and out of play, so it'll stay with the Red Dragons. Really, I didn't think she had to play. I didn't think a Red Dragon was going to get to it. But the Red Hawks defense holds anyways.
Yeah, their defense is doing a really good job at just keeping them out of the goal area.
Erica Wharton battling hard to get possession back. She was working against Ariel Galgano, who managed to get it to the far side. And able to take it away here, Shelby Underwood. Then Charisse Myers, and Myers able to gain possession for the Red Hawks. She was working against Alexa Sanzone. This one flipped out towards midfield. Wentlet coming forward. And she looked to distribute to Jillian Vogel. The only problem was Gianna Moglino was able to get her stick in the way. Wentlet trying to play it out towards midfield again, but couldn't do so, and this whistle will go against Montclair State. Inside the arc, there's a shot that deflects off the stick of Wentlet. Wharton playing it out towards the side. Carrying it down again is Lipsett. She ran into traffic and it was pushed away by Meg Redmond. Now the Red Dragons carrying out towards midfield. They don't really have numbers, they've only got 3. Moving forward as it's played out of bounds by Myers. Now into the middle for Shelby Underwood. But a whistle against the Red Dragons. And it's Danielle Butrico. Moving forward. Trying to keep it away from the stick of Wharton. She's into the middle of the arc. There's a shot that goes just wide, and unable to deflect it on net was Ariel Galgano.
That was close. She had her right there with her if she had just gotten a touch on that ball.
Of course, the hard part here about field hockey is players can only play it with one side of the stick.
Yep.
So with Wharton on the one side, it made it hard for Butrico, obviously, to play it while constantly turning the stick to correspond with where the ball was in reference to her body. Butrico playing it forward, but a foul called against Sarah O'Brien. So Joelle Butrico plays it forward. She's the senior from South Plainfield, New Jersey. Danielle, the younger sister of the two. Danielle being a sophomore. Red Dragons get it into the arc. Heading towards the end line, it's still there. Gabby Stein playing it towards the middle. Deflected there, Underwood. Had it taken away, we're gonna get a penalty corner. It'll be the first one of the game for the Red Dragons. And it comes with just under 11 minutes to go here in the first half. Heading over to play it in is Shelby Underwood, the sophomore from Marathon. Underwood to Wetlet. Wetlet across, tried to get it back. And another penalty corner. Wetlet fed it to Vogel. Vogel tried to feed it back, but the Red Hawk stick got in the way. But the Red Dragons have a second opportunity. As the clock ticks under 10 minutes. All the way out to Erica Wharton. This was deflected towards the end line. Stein looking for it, unable to keep it in. But it will stay with the Red Dragons. Into the arc looking for Vogel. Able to poke it away, but a whistle will turn it over to Montclair State. As the Red Hawks try to work it into the middle of the field, it's taken away by Alexa Sanzone. And the Red Dragons moving forward once again. They get another whistle. And here's Emily Woods playing one into the arc, has to be kicked away by Bertol, and it will manage to get out of play. Set to play it in is Emily Woods. She flips it down for Underwood along the end line. Keeping it in was Kelly Kramer. Now Wharton pushes it to the side, but there's no Red Dragon there, and then overrunning it was Kramer. And it's finally played out of bounds. So the Red Dragons caught a little bit of a break there. Well lit to the near side for Musselman. Now along the sideline here, it's Vogel. Vogel trying to get it into the arc, but a whistle against the Red Dragons will turn it over. She was looking for number 11, Gabby Stein. Woods out towards midfield. Drops for Redmond. And then this one played towards the corner. It'll roll out of bounds along the sideline. And it'll be played by Sharice Myers, the junior from West Hampton, New Jersey. And she's really been all over the place defensively for Montclair State.
Cortland's doing a better job keeping the ball on this side of the field, keeping it in their possession. I mean, I would expect a goal sometime soon if they can just use one another offensively.
Gabby Stein trying to reach in there, poke it away. She's called for a foul. And here's Sarah O'Brien towards the sideline that goes out of play. O'Brien drops for Musselman. Musselman across for Wharton. Wharton has it taken away. Now the Redhawks moving forward. They play it out in front looking for Struss, but Wentlet's the first one to it. Trying to keep it in along the sideline. She got help there from Musselman. And now she tried to play it forward looking for Gabby Stein, but checking towards it was Butrico. And then this one, unable to be controlled by Musselman, it goes out of play. Played back to Joelle Butrico. Into the middle of the field for Abby Erler. Now onto the far side, it's Katie Lipsett, senior from Lumberton, New Jersey. And Wentlet steps in to take it away. Emily Woods gets a whistle as she tries to move it forward. And now a good run here. The Red Dragons have a few numbers. This one's played into the arc, kicked away by Bretol. And it will go to Montclair State. Now this one goes out of play. It'll go right back to Cortland. Playing it towards the center of the field. Stepping in there was Sarah O'Brien. And Wharton hit the turf trying to play it still, but it's handled by Danielle Butrico. Carrying forward, there's a shot kicked away by Perricone. Top of the arc again, there's a shot, and Montclair State is on the board first. And it looks like Jonna Moglino has the first tally of the contest to put the Redhawks on top.
Wow, that was a great shot.
So certainly not the start the Red Dragons were looking for as they trail by a goal with 4:42 to go here in the first half.
Montclair State goal, fourth of the season, scored by number 6, Jonna Moglino.
That's Moglino's fourth goal of the season to go along with one assist. And Gabby Stein hits the turf after she took a ball off the knee. Wentlet playing it back towards midfield. Manages to come up with it again, trying to play it forward. Stein was running across the middle, might have been who she was looking for, but Stein's just worried about getting off the field at this point. And coming on for hers, number 24, Erin Grebe. She scored her first goal in the last game against Houghton. There's a shot that came from outside the arc, but was deadened right to the stick of Abby Wentlet. And now the Red Dragons carrying forward with speed on the stick of Shelby Underwood. Underwood just outside the arc, centered it across, looking for Grebe. But she was unable to get her stick on it. It goes out of play, and Montclair State avoids the danger. Really good opportunity there for the Red Dragons to find the equalizer.
Yeah, that touch is so important. Get your stick on the ball, turn right with the ball. We could have had a shot on that.
A whistle will keep it with the Red Dragons, so they're still threatening here. Jillian Vogel will play it in. She leaves it for O'Brien. O'Brien got into the arc, but a whistle will go against the Red Dragons. Montclair State worked the ball out towards midfield. Emily Woods played it towards the far side. Now running into traffic there was Redmond. And there will be a whistle against the Red Dragons. That'll keep it with Montclair State. So the Red Hawks looking to add to their lead. This one Karam's out of play. And it'll go to Cortland. All the way to the near side for Musselman. Tried to hook up with Sarah O'Brien, but it carried right to a Montclair State defender, and another whistle against the Red Dragons. Laura Johnston was the intended target there, and another whistle against Cortland is going to give Montclair State another opportunity here in the offensive third. Here's Abby Erler. Carrying towards the near side, she plays it into the arc. There's Struss with it, but Wentlet's able to step in, knock it away, and Greep forwards it out right to the stick of Shelby Underwood. Sorry, Jillian Vogel there, and now she hits the turf, and the foul's called against Montclair State. Vogel hurries to get it forward as we're under a minute to go here in the first half. This one right to Sharice Myers, but it gets through her, right to the stick of Underwood. Underwood carrying to the middle of the arc, had it knocked away. And Myers clears it to safety temporarily as it goes out of play. Here's Sarah O'Brien. 30 seconds to go. Carrying towards the arc. Plays it into the arc, carries up into the air. Myers trying to clear it out. It heads towards the end line and out of play. And the Red Hawks will gain possession. As they play it to the side here for Megan Weiss. And that will take us to the end of the first half here at Cortland. So far through one half of play, the Montclair State Red Hawks have the lone tally on a goal by Jonna Moglino. It was her fourth of the season. And what looked like a very evenly matched contest has been as advertised thus far. Both teams getting their opportunities, but Montclair State taking advantage of the one thus far, Tricia.
I mean, at this point, it's still anyone's game. It's only 1-0. Cortland just has to clean up their act a little bit. They're still playing kind of sloppy. They're not really using one another as much as Montclair State is. Montclair State, they're finding the open player. They're passing really well with one another. I mean, it's still anyone's game. Cortland still has a shot. We still have 35 minutes left to go.
And the last time they played at home, the Red Dragons trailed at the half 1-0. Only that time it was to Ithaca. The Red Dragons managed to come back and win 3-0. We'll see if, 3-1. We'll see if they can manage another comeback here in the second half on the Red Dragon Sports Network. Stay tuned for second half play. We'll be right back here on the Red Dragon Sports Network.
Red Dragon fans support Oakland Athletics by joining the Sequence. Oakland Athletics homepage at www.cortlandreddragon.com. Red Dragon fans follow Oakland Athletics on Facebook to keep up with corporate sponsors to our growing scene, Factory, Harry County, A Pizza More, Dickey's Barbecue, at Central City.
And we're back here on the Red Dragon Sports Network just before the start of the second half, where Montclair State holds a 1-0 lead over the Cortland Red Dragons in a battle of ranked teams here at the Division III level in field hockey. Alongside Trisha Metzger, I'm Cody Marshall. And Trisha, everything started to go right. You talked about Cortland needed to come out with a fire. They didn't exactly do that, but they managed to come up with a few opportunities, work towards the net a little bit, but still up to this point haven't really gotten a golden opportunity against Rebecca Batole. Meanwhile, they look strong on defense, turning away many opportunities for the Red Hawks, but the one by Gianna Moglino finally found the back of the net, and that's where we stand. And you know, if you're coach Cynthia Wetmore for the Red Dragons, what are you out there telling your team right now?
I would just tell them to keep their confidence, go out strong. I mean, they played really well. They had possession of the ball a majority of the time. They just have to pass to one another. They have to find the open player and use one another. They would get the ball and they would just try and get it out of their end. They would just pass to nothing, or they would pass to Montclair State. They have to use one another. I mean, they're on a 4-game winning streak. Just keep the confidence up, go out strong, and I think they have a great chance in the second half. We have 35 minutes.
And of course, the way it looked like Cortland was trying to be more aggressive defensively, kind of packing it in and whatnot, and I think that's what's really hurt the offense. They haven't had numbers going forward, so whenever they get a break, the next pass, really they don't have anyone to give it to, and it ends up hitting off a Montclair stick, and just like that, a fast break is cut down to nothing. So Montclair, we'll see if Coach Wetmore changes that approach or if she stays with it. And we'll see if the Red Dragons can come from behind once again. The last time they did it was right here at the White Field when they beat Ithaca less than a week ago.
Absolutely.
Actually, sorry, it was 10 days ago, but, you know, same thing. They ended up winning 3-1 after being down 1-0 at the half. So here we go with half number 2. And starting with it is Danica Whitty. Montclair State, just like Cortland did to start the first half, they work it around the back line. And right there, the pass trying to go to Maura Johnson. She wasn't even standing in play.
Yeah, you can already see that they're already putting the pressure on. They're coming in hot in this second half.
Wharton playing it forward along the side. Here's Gabby Stein. Running into Joelle Patrico, but we'll get a whistle here against Montclair State. The Red Dragons moving forward with pace. It was on the stick of Sarah O'Brien, but she was turned away, and Montclair State will head the other way. Montclair State and Cortland, conference opponents when it comes to football. They'll play their final NJAC meeting this season. Off the upside, here's a steal at the top of the arc by Underwood, and she scores! We are tied here at White Field, and just like that, the Red Dragons even the score. Underwood scoring early, like you said, but you wanted it in the first half. That
was absolutely beautiful. She got the ball, she held control of it, and she put it right in the back of the net. That was perfect.
That's Underwood's 4th goal of the season to go along with 1 assist. And the Red Dragons have finally found a way to beat Rebecca Batole to even the score with just over 33 minutes to play.
Like I said, they came in hot. That was 2 minutes into play, and they already put a goal in the back of the net. That was fabulous.
We talked about it. It looked like they weren't being so aggressive on offense. Looked like they were just trying to hang back and prevent Montclair from scoring. Now all of a sudden, Underwood's able to take advantage of a mistake right at the top of the box and able to finish. And we talk about how hard it is to finish. We mentioned they can only play it with one side of the stick. Looked like she was going to run into trouble there when she got to the one side. Now the Redhawks looking to answer. Here's a shot attempt from Abby Erler that couldn't make its way through into the arc. She's able to collect it once again, but ran into traffic, and a whistle against Montclair State's going to turn it over.
I think if they just upkeep that same pressure that they initially put on in this second half, they're not going to have a problem at all in the second half, I don't think. But Montclair State's also picking up the tempo now. Now that we're at an even match, 1-1, it's back to anyone's ball game. We'll see.
A whistle will go against Montclair State. And this will be Cortland's last non-conference game before they head into Suniac play. We mentioned they'll do it. They'll play at Oneonta and at New Paltz next weekend. And of course that rematch with New Paltz will be a rematch of the 2013 Suniac Finals, which New Paltz won in a shootout to send the Hawks to the NCAA tournament when it looked like the Red Dragons would certainly be there. They played a great regular season, especially against teams against Skidmore and some other ranked teams. Looked like they had everything going for them, but everything just kind of fell apart at the end there. Erler leaves it for Butrico, who's working against Wentlet, and a whistle against the Red Dragons. And then, of course, Montclair State will look to do damage in the New Jersey Athletic Conference as they look to get back to the Elite Eight just like they did last year, but they look for a little more. They came in, as we mentioned, as the #1 seed overall in the tournament before falling to Bowdoin, who ended up being the national champions by beating Salisbury. And Montclair State will get yet another penalty corner here with 30 minutes, 30 seconds to go. Either team has been able to score off one so far. It's their second opportunity of the game. Played out to the top of the arc. Now here's Butrico over at the side, right in front there. It's stopped by Perricone. It's trapped under her, and there will be another penalty corner. On that one, just a great save by Perricone, laying out and trapping it well enough to prevent the scoring opportunity. And there, if you're Coach Cynthia Wetmore, certainly I'll take the foul rather than giving up the goal.
Oh, absolutely.
Played in by Johnston. Top of the arc, it's Whitty. Across, kicked away by Perricone. The shot came from Abby Erler. Now here's a whistle, and it'll go to the Red Dragons. The defenders can flip off the mass, and they'll play out towards midfield.
Yeah, it's going to be really important right now for the Red Dragons just to keep possession of the ball. Right now, it looks like Montclair has most of the possession. But if they can just keep the possession and use the offense, that's going to be key.
Playing it in from the sideline here, Sarah O'Brien, the junior from Amherst. And feeding it towards the middle of the field there was Gabby Stein. Now here's Erica Wharton. A great job there, stepping in. This one, Karam's right in front and able to be kicked away as it Karam to Brateau. A great opportunity there for Alexa Sanzone.
She came out of nowhere. It could have been perfect. That was amazing. She came in with so much speed. And
a battle for it inside the arc, but it hit off Sanzone, so Montclair State will take possession. This one goes right out of bounds. Again, Johnson was not even in play when of course she might have been just stopping it, but I think what's hurting Montclair State right now is I think this yellow line that actually marks the soccer field. I believe they're thinking that that's the out of bounds line here because they have played a few balls way too wide for the intended target. They work to the far side of the field. Trying to move it forward, but Bree Musselman is there. She feeds it ahead for Sarah O'Brien, who continues it further for Gabby Stein. And O'Brien stepped in again there, but a whistle against Cortland will turn it over to Montclair State. Stein gets it again. Tried to flip it into the arc, but no one's there, and it'll be cleared away by Abby Erler, right to the stick of Erica Wharton. Here's O'Brien inside the arc trying to center it, and she's whistled as the ball might have hit off some part of her body, and Montclair State working forward again. They get another whistle. Redhawks the beneficiary of yet another whistle here. Out towards midfield, they play all the way across looking for Katie Lipsett, but it skips over her sticking out of play, so the Red Dragons have an opportunity. Able to step in there was Abby Erler, but it stays right with the Red Dragons. Here's Anna Branch. Branch trying to work through traffic. She's going to get a whistle here as the ball hit off Katie Lipsett. Playing it forward will be Meg Redmond, the freshman from McCord. And another whistle against Montclair State. Abby Woods into the arc. Trying to center it. It looked like it hit off a Montclair State defender, but it's whistled for Montclair State possession.
Yeah, and if you look at Cortland's coach right now, she seems a bit, she looks distraught. Like, I don't think the offense is doing exactly what she wants them to do. Cortland, when they get in situations like this, they play more defensively, like you were saying. Like, they try and protect the ball in their end, but that's not going to get them goals. It's going to prevent goals, which is also important, but that's not going to get them goals, and they need to use their offense a lot more than they are right now. They're all in back right now, just protecting their end. It's not going to get them goals.
That was head coach Cynthia Wetmore. She's in her 17th season here at Suny Cortland, and we get our first yellow card of the game. It was handed out to number 11, Gabby Stein, the sophomore from Endwell. And she'll have to sit out for 5 minutes. So the Red Dragons short-handed for the time being, and they're looking to attack early. Currently on the stick of Anna Branch. She feeds it ahead, Jillian Vogel, and a whistle will turn it over to Montclair State. And how big would it be for the Red Dragons if they're able to kill this penalty against Gabby Stein and keep it at least 1-1. And another whistle here. We'll keep it with the Redhawks. They look to play along the sideline, but it goes out of play. But they ruled that it took a deflection off a Red Dragon, so Montclair State will just move right down the field. Redhawks moving towards the middle of the field, and a whistle will give it up to the Red Dragons.
Now, if you look at Montclair State's coach, Beth Gotting, I mean, you look at her right now, she is crouched down. She's probably thinking in her head, I mean, put that pressure on. Like, they have so much possession of this ball right now.
Danielle Butrico head at the top of the arc. And a whistle coming up. We'll have another penalty corner coming up for Montclair State. So all the backs, including Emily Woods. Backs include Abigail Wentlet, Bree Musselman, and Erica Wharton are the crew that always head into the net for the penalty corners. as Moore Johnson plays it in, top of the arc, and moving it around nicely. Erler with a shot, kicked away by Perricone, heading towards the near post, and it goes out of play. Perricone didn't touch it. The Red Dragons will gain possession.
That was a great save, too, by Cortland's goalie. Absolutely, she was all over that ball. She knew exactly where it was going to keep it in Cortland's favor.
Whistle keeps it with Montclair State. Here's Megan Roloffs. Gives it up to Abby Erler, who continues it on a cross, but stepping in there was Jillian Vogel. I'm sorry, that's 21. That's Sarah O'Brien, the junior from Amherst. And another whistle keeps it with Montclair State. Just 2 minutes left to go on the penalty to Gabby Stein. Knocking it down to the turf now is Vogel. Vogel gives it up for Anna Branch. And it goes out of play. It'll stay with the Red Dragons. Branch is a freshman from Clifton Park. Vogel brings it in. She's inside the arc trying to center it. There's no one there. It's kicked away by Bertol. Another opportunity goes just wide. And Montclair State avoids the danger, but a great opportunity there for the Red Dragons to get a shorthanded goal to take the pressure off them with Stein out. Here's Anna Branch again, working towards the near side. It'll go out of play.
Yeah, they're doing a great job right now, just keeping it in their possession, especially being down with only a minute left in the penalty.
A great job of killing the penalty thus far. Here's Shelby Underwood looking to get it into the middle of the arc. She was looking for Branch. She's able to keep it in. Heading towards the middle of the field. She played it right through the legs of the defender. Middle of the field. An opportunity there for Sarah O'Brien. Just couldn't strike it. Played back here to Meg Redmond, who was looking for Emily Woods, but this one's going to go out of play, and Montclair State will take over possession. Playing it in is Roloffs. Over to Erler. Out to the far side. Here's Butrico. Butrico working along the sideline, now cutting in towards the arc. Running into some traffic here. Now turns middle of the field. Tried to send it across, but getting the stick in the way there was Wharton. It's still loose, and a penalty corner coming up for Montclair State. Time's expired on the penalty. Gabby Stein's back onto the field. As the clock ticks down to the 20-minute mark. Johnston to play it in again. The junior from Montville, New Jersey. She leads the team in assists so far. She's got 4. Top of the arc, they move it around, centered, knocked down, and a whistle will keep it with Cortland anyways. Emily Woods was the one who got in the way to stop it from getting to Amanda Perricone. Wentlet tried to feed it through to Anna Branch. Another whistle is going to keep it with the Red Dragons. Here's Branch again. Branch tried to play it into the arc, but this one goes out of play. And Montclair State will have possession once again. Towards the sideline. They're able to keep it in, get it to Johnstone, but that one went out of play.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, the biggest problem with the offensively with Cortland is we'll get the ball up here, and then we have no one. We either just pass it to whoever, or we pass it to no one at all. We need people up there to help put the ball in the back of the net.
Here's Wentlet stepping in. She'll clear it towards midfield. Erler managed to stop it from going any farther. Now on the near side, it's Lipset. And her air pass goes up, takes a deflection, goes out of play. And Lipset will leave it so that roll off will carry it in. Now give it over to Erler. Erler trying to send it into the arc. And they ruled that it was not touched, so it will go to the Red Dragons. Wentlet across, looking for her teammate Redmond, but this one goes out of play, and a quick turnover gives possession to the Red Hawks.
That touch is so important. She has to get her stick on that ball because then it immediately goes over to the other team.
Meg Redmond, the lone freshman that's in the starting lineup for this Red Dragon crew. And a name that we haven't said in a while, here's Charisse Myers carrying around midfield. Able to keep it away from Gabby Stein. And the Red Hawks are going to turn it over. The whistle will give possession to Cortland. This one deflects out of play once again off the stick of Joelle Batrico. Wentlet to Redmond to Woods. Woods had it knocked off her stick and out of play. Redmond again trying to play it forward for Underwood. And once again, it's poked out of play. Now she tries to give it up to Vogel, but it goes right by her, and it's taken away by Caitlin Strauss, who's been pretty quiet so far today for Montclair State. She's their leading scorer with 7 goals to go along with no assists.
Yeah, I agree. I would have expected to see more out of her, just being their leading scorer and whatnot. But she's been very quiet today.
Montclair State has it deep in the box. There's an attempt kicked away by Perricone. Another save. Middle of the box, a shot by Erler. Oh, what a stop by Abby Wentlet, whose stick kept it from going over the line. And this pass goes out of play. What a stand by the Cortland defense. The senior from Green, who was so amped about this contest, keeps it 1-1.
That was just a beautiful attempt on Cortland's part. The goalie almost lost her footing at one point. The ball was just all over the place and whatnot, and just keeps the ball from going in the back of the net.
This one goes out of play. It'll stay with the Red Dragons. They rule that it kicked off Lipset last. Redmond plays it back to Wentlet. Across to Musselman. Into the center of the field, it's Wharton. Wharton to Underwood, and a whistle will turn it over to Montclair State. 15 minutes to go. Here's Erler trying to feed it through traffic. It manages to carry him to Strauss. And Cortland gets a call. And trying to move forward was O'Brien, but she'll turn it over. After the whistle, gives it to Montclair State. And this one, of course, deflected off of Jillian Vogel. So Erler will continue forward and hits Vogel once again. Erler across the field looking for Lipset. Lipset trying to feed through traffic. Underwood stepped in, but it will stay with Montclair State. In the middle of the field, it was Whitty, dropped for Erler. Still loose in the arc, and a penalty corner coming up. So after Cortland got 2 in a row in the first half, they were certainly holding the advantage in that category. They've given up 3 thus far here in the second half. Now, luckily for them, Montclair State hasn't been able to put it in. But they'll have another chance here with Johnson playing it in. Top of the arc, here's Erler. Shot took a deflection into the middle of the arc. Woods clears it out. Another whistle, another penalty corner. Yes, I thought for a second that it wouldn't be because Abby Wentlet threw her mask down and then tried to push it out of play with her stick, but she walks over and puts it back on. Johnson to play it in again. Top of the arc, they swing it around. This one gets through and Montclair State has scored again. A great job there by Johnson to screen Perricone, who couldn't see the ball, and it trickles in and finds the back of the net. And we'll take another look. As the shot came, I believe that's the stick of Katie Lipset.
Yeah, she just found the hole in the net and she put it right there.
And now Cortland will have to play from behind once again with 12:52 to go in the second half.
Montclair State goal, fourth of the season, scored by number 18, Joelle Butrico.
Oh, I'm sorry, the goal was scored by Joelle Butrico. That's her fourth goal.
57-08, Joelle Butrico from Rio.
And now the Red Dragons looking to answer. Here's Woods playing it towards the near side. Moving through traffic, she's created some space for herself. Now leaves it for Shelby Underwood. Trying to center it to the middle of the field was Meg Redmond. And now it goes out of play once again. Woods will play it in. Woods, the senior from Williamsville, New York. And a whistle will give it up to Montclair State. So now, Tricia, if you're head coach Cynthia Wetmore, at what point here does Suny Cortland need to kind of hit the panic button?
I mean, they have to put the pressure on. Possession is so important, especially right now with 11 and a half minutes left. You're down 2-1. You have to keep possession of the ball. Don't give up possession. I think.
Centered, and they find the back of the net. Cortland has tied it. It looked like they weren't going to score, and then somehow able to flip it up into the back of the net, I believe. As we take another look, actually we'll find out. Stein centered it.
The goalie just completely lost track of the ball. It's like she didn't even know where it was at that point.
And a timeout called with 10:51 to go as the Red Dragons have tied it once again. And we'll wait for the call from Dan Serdam to find out who scored the goal. I believe based on the number, it looks like it might have either been Shelby Underwood or Jillian Vogel. It was Shelby Underwood. Underwood's goal, that's her fourth of the season.
See, Cody, no panic button yet. We don't have to hit that panic button.
They keep this up. If they're able to come back, we're going to nickname them the comeback kids. I mean, they've managed to beat Ithaca down a goal late. They put in 3. Now a good screen against Perricone allows another one to score. And they're down 2-1, and just like that, they respond. And you look at how early they scored in the second half, whereas the first half it looked like they couldn't get anything going on offense.
Yeah, when they're down, they seem to put more pressure on, but they have to keep that pressure up the whole game. And that'll get them the win. That'll get them the lead.
And we'll see if they do that. I mean, Coach Cynthia Wetmore, she knows, she's realized, and, you know, I'm no field hockey expert here, but they've scored twice after a first half where they didn't really pressure the Montclair defense so much. They just kind of packed it in, didn't want Montclair State to score. Now they've gone on the offensive, been more aggressive offensively, and it's led to 2 goals, and they've taken advantage of mistakes there. Rebecca Batol just couldn't find it to kick it away, and if I was in her position, I probably wouldn't be able to either because there was about 3 to 4 players around her from both teams.
Yeah, she lost sight of that ball.
And then the first goal was, I think Underwood has both goals. Yeah, because she had the steal, so that's actually Underwood's 5th goal. She's got 2 so far today, and she took advantage of a mistake. She's having a career day.
And she's having a great day. And once they're down, it's like a fuse just ignites in her, and she just comes in hot. She's a force to be reckoned with, that's for sure.
And a whistle against Montclair State. The Red Dragons tried to move forward, but they're turned away, and now Montclair State will be the beneficiaries of the next whistle. Under 10.5 to play. Out towards midfield. It caroms to Bree Musselman. Able to keep it in front, plays it along the sideline, but this one will go out of play. What a big win it would be if Cortland can find the net one more time.
Absolutely, but it's so important that they don't just put the pressure on like the defense. Don't move all your players back and put all this pressure on back here when you need pressure on offense as well.
Into the arc and another penalty corner coming. This is how Montclair State scored the last one, as Joelle Butrico was able to use a Maura Johnston screen to her advantage to beat Amanda Perricone. Johnson out of the arc to Whitty. And it's cleared out. And then Emily Wood, is fouled. It'll stay with the Red Dragons.
Montclair State, and I tell you what, Amanda Territory has had some great saves. But the two biggest have come from her center back, Abigail Wetland, are about to reach the 4-minute mark here in Cortland. Working against Sharice Myers and Sarah O'Brien. Has it taken away, and then it hits off the, looks like it hit off the foot of Myers, but they're going to give the whistle to Montclair State.
I mean, we're just under 4 minutes here. This pressure is just so important. Just offensively, the Cortland's playing phenomenal defensively, but that's, if they want to put a ball in the net, they just got to keep the pressure up on Montclair's side of the field.
Whistle against Montclair State. Cortland getting some great opportunities thus far. And Sarah O'Brien will play it in. She drops for Wharton. Wharton tried to play it forward, but she played it right to the stick of Danielle Butrico, who sends it downfield to Abby Wetlet. And this one will carry them out of play, but it'll stay with Cortland. The Red Dragons able to move up the field. We're under 3 minutes to go. Musselman along the sideline, trying to work through traffic. Able to get it to Gabby Stein, and it's out of play. We'll get another opportunity here from the Red Dragons. O'Brien carries in, trying to center it. It goes out of play once again, and the Red Dragons will try it again.
Just keep the ball on this side of the field. I think that's so important, especially with, I mean, we're at just about 2 minutes to go.
And a penalty corner coming up for the Red Dragons. This is going to be a big opportunity. We'll see if they can take the lead. It's their first one here of the second half. Over to play it in is Shelby Underwood. She plays it to Abby Wetlet. Wetlet into the center of the arc. Underwood battling it, centered again, still loose. There's a shot kicked away by Bertol. Emily Woods has it. It's cleared out. Wetlet back into the arc, and a whistle against the Red Dragons. So the Red Hawks managed to fend off another attack. And they look to spread out the field once again.
Oh yeah, they're probably breathing a huge sigh of relief, getting out of that sticky situation.
Under a minute to go. The whistle gives it to the Red Dragons. Here's O'Brien. Moving forward, she was looking for Brittany Murphy. This one heads towards the end line. It'll give possession to Montclair State. 40 seconds to go. This one carries right to the stick of Emily Woods. Woods carrying towards the arc. Looking to center it. She found one teammate. Penalty corner coming up for the Red Dragons. They've got to hurry though if they want to play it. They only have 18 seconds.
We're under 10 seconds to go.
And it looks like they're going to send the house. Everybody's forward. And it looks by rule, Cortland's going to be able to at least play the corner.
Oh,
They've got everyone forward. Underwood plays it in. Wetlet at the top of the arc. Sent across, shot through, kicked away, still there. And kicked away again by Bertol. And it's cleared out. So we have reached the end of regulation here at Cortland. Both teams tied at 2. Valiant effort. Cortland has had to come back from down a goal twice. They've managed to do it. Shelby Underwood